Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? We had a game. We won a game. So we got a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, still some players to talk about that still are not with the team, but a lot to talk about because we all witnessed a game. And so it feels exciting. The season is here, basically. And so we're going to get into a lot of that with a special guest tonight. It's kind of a, well, we'll get into it in a minute. But before we get too far, everybody say hello to everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed. How you doing, Ed?
How's it going, Peter Brown? Here I am ready, and not like usual because we have a special guest with us. So but I'm here on time for once. So ready to go and happy that we won, man. That's awesome.
If this is what it takes to get you on time to have a guest, we have to have a guest every week because we need to get you on time.
Well, we got one for next week, so
there you go.
We're so good.
All right, well, everybody get busy in the chats, and let's say hi to everybody in the chats here for. But as you start tuning in, say hello. We'll say hello to you. Obviously, as always, we want it to be very interactive, and also, if you want to leave a voicemail, call 786-474-4435. Got one so far, and it's not from who you think. Everybody always thinks it's one world, one goal. It's not. It's somebody else. So. This is your opportunity to join into a conversation. So, but before we get into who the guest is, although you guys all know because we tweeted it and all that kind of stuff, let's say a big thank you to our sponsors. Start off with Caneswear. Caneswear is located in Davie, Florida, just south of 595 on University Drive. They have the messiest wall in all of South Florida. Best deals. Actually, right now, they're in the middle of this is their last weekend of 40% off most Inter Miami apparel. The sale ends, though, tomorrow night at midnight, 11:59 to be exact, 11:59 p.m. So, obviously, the store's not open that late, but the website is. So, you can go to caneswear.com if the store's a little bit too far for you. Plus, new kits will be in stock this week. So go check them out. Oops, hang on.
Peter Brown, and if you want to invest in South Florida, the one to do it is with the goat herself, Mia Rodrigues. There she is. She's got this channel and everything. She's famous. She comes out on TV, and you guys can come out on TV too if you guys have a house or property, a business that you want to sell or buy. She'll be the one to do it for you guys. So she speaks 3 languages. She's the one and only Mia Rodrigues, guys.
All right. All right, so there's, those of you in the chat, let's get busy. It's not a ton of you in the chat yet, but let's go. And we'll say hello to those of you that are in the chat, and then we're not going to wait any longer. Let's get right to the fun. Jose Velasquez is here. Welcome, Jose. Sport Shorts. Oh, he says, hey, he went to Caneswear for the first time today and got an Inter Miami M hat. Nice. Michael Donnelly is here from Chile. Battered Herons. Chris is here, of course, supporting his buddy.
Look at
Farzad Rahil, welcome. Patrick Barnhill. I'm back in action. And it's a new one for me, but Soccer Daddy eFootball. Hello. All right, well, if you're watching and you want to join in the chat, jump right in. But Ed, oh, wait, here we go. Rick A is now saying hello. Howdy, fellas.
All right.
All right, Ed, so, we don't do a ton of guests on the show, but this is one guest that people have, since they started doing their podcast a while back, people have wanted like this crossover kind of collab show or something like that with the Battered Herons. So to me, Ed, this is for old people. So you should understand. This is like when Mork showed up on Happy Days. Right. When the Flintstones met the Jetsons.
Something like that.
Okay, here's one for the modern. When Family Guy ended up on Simpsons. I never watched that one, though. But I did watch the Mork because I am that old. But everybody, let's welcome in our guest, and that is Daniel from the Battered Herons. How you doing, Daniel?
Yeah, living the dream, guys. How you going? Thank you for having me on. I'm grateful that tomorrow there is no work.
Yes.
because usually you guys are my Monday morning drive to work. So I would have had nothing to listen to because I'm living it.
There you go.
Thank God that. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a long time coming.
It must be nice because I have to work tomorrow.
I'm sorry for you.
I normally have to work. Now, my company was purchased, so it's a new company now and all that. And so we have more holidays actually off. So it's a positive. I generally, if I am off on MLK Day, it's because I chose to take it off generally. So a few
Peter,
people checking into the chat room as well.
Let me say something, Peter.
Okay.
I would have expected Daniel to be in the middle. We should have sandwiched him instead of I'm the sandwich. What's the deal with this? There you go. Much better. There you go. But he's not Uncle Ed, though. You got to change that.
Well, but you're putting me on the spot and making me make changes like live. So things
I didn't realize. My bad. There you go.
You're the magician here, Peter.
This is the live production of a show. There you go.
There you go.
How about that?
All right. Where do we start, Peter?
Well, first off, let's say hello to a few more people that popped into the chat. Oh, yeah, Mr. Krabs is here. He's happy to see Danny. And Esteban Dito. Danny, where's your Robin at? I didn't reach out to Chris, but I mean, we could have had them both on, but another time, right?
He's in the chat.
He's in the chat. Angel says, "Where's Chris at?" He's in the chat. Look, you want to pop in? Daniel, you could share him the same link I shared with you. He could pop in if he wants. That link.
Send it to him. Yeah, send it to him. Why not?
Before I send it to him, I don't know if he's going to be able to come on, but before I send it,
fine. I'm just saying if he wanted to, he could. I'm just
saying, make sure that we put the rules down about foul language. So I just want to put that out there.
Oh, is he a foul mouth?
He could be a potty mouth sometimes.
Oh, okay. Well, here, Stancy is here as well. We don't ever, tell anybody how to talk on this show. I think Ed just generally follows kind of like how I talk when we're here, because in general, I don't curse. Ever.
No, I'm just Chris only acts up on our show.
So
Peter's a very Christian fella.
But I'm never one to tell anybody not to do what they want to do. So, anyways, but all good. So excited to have you on here. But when I was using that analogy of Mork and we all agree, right? Ed would be Mork, right? On that, Mork and Mindy. Ed would be Mork and from the Happy Days and. Right? I mean, we all agree. I mean, do you know what the character Mork, Daniel? You're not that old.
No. I used to watch the Happy Days. I do not remember who Mork is, though.
Mork and Mindy? Nanu?
No.
Oh, my God.
I did. I remember back in the day, I used to watch Happy Days. I cannot, for the life of me, remember any of the characters by name. Well,
Richie Cunningham, Fonzie,
obviously, but that's the only one. Who was the redhead? The redhead
was Ralph.
Ralph Mouth.
Yeah, Ralph Mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't remember any of them. Robin Williams.
There's more.
There you go. Right. Because as I said, Ed would be the Mork. So let's just do this.
Is that Robin Williams?
It is.
Yep. Robin Williams. He was Mork.
I don't remember him at all there.
Yep. He had his own show. Anyways, let's get. If I go off on a tangent for too long, people yell at me in the chat. So, Mork and Mindy, Stancy knows Mork and Mindy had their own show. Was a spinoff of Happy Days. Exactly.
But it was decades later, supposedly, if you think about it. It was in the 80s.
We're old. Apparently, Angel knows what I'm talking about. Bruni Sense 69. Uh-oh, somebody's stealing your number.
Uh-oh.
I'm not a 20-year-old either. I'm up there.
All right. Well, anyways, the season's kicked off, sort of. I mean, we've got our first win. I mean, that to me, I don't know about you guys, but just the feeling of watching Inter Miami. It's the one positive with MLS these days is that the off season seemed to get shorter and shorter and shorter, right? It used to be like they were off for like months and months and months, it felt like. But now the players they're back on training real quick. We're right back in the swing of things. They don't have the 3 months off that you used to have. It's pretty quick, which is I'm happy to see. I was super excited to actually be able to watch a game. And so just how was the feeling for you guys, watching Inter Miami last night, playing against Club America in front of, what did they say, like somewhere over 40,000 people in Las Vegas? How was that for you, Daniel?
Well, 70 days without any Inter Miami football. So
see, he knows
that alone, just watching them on the pitch made me happy. And I think just watching them play against what's supposed to be the best team in North America and playing well. I mean, obviously they were rusty. They made mistakes, but I mean, they should have looked a lot worse. The scoreline should have been worse, and we held our own in our first preseason game just 4 days after starting training. I feel like this is as good of a start as we could have asked for the 2025 season.
Yeah, totally agree, man.
Yeah, Ed, how do you feel?
Yeah, no, it was great. Unfortunately, I can't always do things the way that I wanted to. I wanted the TV all for myself, but there's a lot of people in my house, so I got to do what the ladies say, and I'm the only guy, so I have, I can't really say much. So I watched most of it on the phone.
I would say that's where you break out the iPad.
Well, I could have used a computer too, but
there you go.
They get they always tell me to put down the volume, so I was just doing my thing, had my headphones on, and I was watching the game, so it worked out in my little corner. But yeah, it was good to see them. I didn't.
At least you weren't having to work like you usually do.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to actually win, man. Even tie, that last minute thing was awesome. We'll get to that, but it was great to have soccer again, man.
Awesome. That's how I felt. It was just excited to actually have a game to watch, and I mean, sometimes at the end of the season you're happy it's over, you get a little reprieve, but then you're just jonesing for it to get back and all that kind of stuff. So I
also enjoyed the late start.
That was hard for me.
Was it? I enjoyed it because I got to enjoy like a full Saturday, put the kids to bed, and now the game starts. So for me, it worked out perfect.
Wow. Well, I struggled to stay awake. Had to drink coffee. I'm I think I made it clear I'm old. And Mr. Krabs says Daniel was born in like 86 or 87. Compared to y'all, he's a young buck.
85.
So I graduated high school in 87.
I graduated in 89. That tells you everything.
Yeah. 9:30 is my bedtime. I'm ready to go to bed at 9:30. Not like the Battered Herons that do post-game shows at like midnight.
Yeah, we started at midnight last night. Yeah.
Wow.
It was fun. Surprisingly, we had an active chat for it being past midnight.
That's good.
After a win, it's always good.
Yeah, that definitely helps. And I didn't really do much of an introduction as far as like your channel and all that stuff, because I think everybody that watches us pretty much knows who you are and watches you. So you guys are doing really good stuff over there, and everybody seems to really enjoy it. As we were talking before, though, is like I was going to introduce you kind of as like the man of 1,000 podcasts, because you've had a lot, and now you've slimmed it down to where you're just doing Miami stuff or soccer stuff, you said now. So only focusing on the football.
We're doing Battered Herons, Las Garzas, which is basically Inter Miami in Spanish, Battered MLS, where we get a panel of MLS content creators every week and we talk about the league in general. And for now, that's it. I kind of put everything else to the side until the summertime when I could kind of just readjust. So for the coming months, that's it. Just those three.
All right. I got, I've had a question for you ever since you guys popped up on the scene. Battered Herons, Battered MLS. I don't know. You probably had Battered Yankees, Battered Jets, whatever. I know you did some New York stuff.
Did you get spanked a lot when you were a kid?
Did you get beat up as a kid?
Emotionally by my sports teams.
Because I'm like a happy fan. I don't want to.
I'm not. I'm a battered fan.
I don't want to be mad about my team, although we sometimes are. But I'm like a happy fan.
Social media, when social media came out and hashtags became a thing,
that
used to be a very common hashtag for me. At the end of every tweet or post or anything, I would just put battered fan because that's what I felt like, because I am a fan of just bad teams. I like the Brooklyn Nets. I like the New York Jets, the Rangers, just all teams that just disappoint me consistently. So it kind of took on a life of its own for me. My wife even mentioned it in our wedding vows. So, it just took on its own thing. And
Wait, whoa. Your wife mentioned battered in her wedding vows, as in please don't, or I mean that's a weird word in your wedding vows.
No. She was gonna support my teams no matter how often they lose. Yeah.
All right.
But the fact that I just root for bad teams was a constant, thing for me and everybody around me, because I'm such a sports is like all I really, before I had my kids, it was just sports. Like I'm obsessed with sports, and so it was. It sucks that you disobsess with something that brings you no joy. So.
Wow, that's very depressing.
It is.
Slit my wrist right now, maybe.
But you know what?
But as far as being a fan of bad teams, I get that. I was a Dolphins fan as a kid, right?
Okay.
I supported the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, but the years that I supported them, they were not very good. Then supported the Miami Fusion, not very good until that last season. Then the Strikers again, not very good. Everybody went out of business, basically. And then Inter Miami started off, not very good. It's like I'm right there with you. But I always still want to remain as positive as I possibly can. Even though that's a challenge. Ed, he's a little more happy-go-lucky, right, Ed? You're good.
Yeah, man, you gotta, I'm just happy that we have a team, man. For the longest, we didn't have a soccer team, so we've got it now. Now they're good. They should have won the championship last year, but that's another story. And here we are today. So I'm just happy we have something to support.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I'm a team. All my sports teams are all from New York, but I mean, obviously, I didn't really root for the Metro Stars at the time and the Red Bulls. So when I came down here, I decided to watch the MLS around 2014-15. NYCFC came onto the scene. And I figured, okay, I guess I'll root for this team since there's no local team. But once I found out we're going to have a local team, I was like, you know what? I'm going to jump on board because I need to be able to go to a live event. And I kind of hooked on to them. Been a season ticket holder since the first season. So
picking up on the battered stuff, Pablo Golasso says, new show, Battered Husbands.
That's for sure.
That was an idea at one point. Battered Disney has also been kicked around.
Well, that's
it. Peter. People don't know that.
Battered Herons Chris says Disney Dad's coming. See, that's just it. If you and I kind of talked briefly throughout the idea of possibly a Disney show. I could not do a Disney show, though, named Battered.
I know that. It's funny because Mike Longan, that does an Inter Miami show also, he's also a Disney obsessed person that said we should do one. But he also said, I don't think you should have the word battered in it. So
yeah, I wouldn't want to, because again, I love Disney. And granted, you're saying you love the sports, but you feel beat up. And there are some diehard Disney fans that also feel beat up, but I'm just not that. What's that, Ed?
In their pocket because it's expensive.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, but it's a choice. It's just like going to see Inter Miami games. It's a choice. You could choose to do it or not. You can choose to spend the money or not. They're both very expensive. At some point, something may have to give. I joke around here, but it's not really a joke. I love both. I love Inter Miami and Disney. I might like Disney more, but Ed's not a Disney fan, so I couldn't do a Disney podcast with Ed because I got to teach him everything.
I used to watch your Nerd Monday show.
Yeah, we used to do that for a little bit.
That was fun. But yeah, it wasn't that much Disney though. It was mostly comic books, and I'm a big comic book fan, so I had a lot of comics in my day, so I know what I'm talking about. But Peter knows it's Disney.
Oh yeah, I definitely.
I was never into comic books.
I'm a Disney junkie, but
I had to give up my annual passes though.
Yeah, you were telling me that. That was going to be one of my questions. When was the last time you went to Disney? But it's been a while, so.
Yeah, it was before the baby. I have a newborn. Before she was born, last time I went was last June. So it's been a while.
Right You're right there with Stancy. I haven't gone to Disney in years because the price is crazy. I used to go 2 to 3 times a year. Yeah, prices are, like I said, it's a decision. You just everybody's got to make the decisions that work out for them and their family and their lives. But that's one of those kind of like almost like deal break. Like I met my wife up there, at Pleasure Island, which was the nightclub district at Disney. So it's like,
Downtown
it's ingrained in, and she's not a big Disney fan. I just drag her along. But anyways, this is very quickly turning into the nerd show because now I'm getting comments about Star Wars. I like Star Wars, but Disney bought it. It doesn't feel the same. See, for me, I love Star Wars before Disney bought it. Now it's even better because Disney owns Star Wars. I like it. But
anyways. Can I give you my 2 cents as to why people think it's not as good?
Oh, I know why, but go ahead. Give me your 2 cents.
Because I think it's because it's around more often. Absence
they may
makes
have
the heart grow fonder, right? So when you used to get a movie every day, you take 15, 20 years to get another 3 movies to come out. But now it's just series and sub-series and spin-offs, and now it's around so much that people just don't like it as much.
I'm with you. All right, so let's get back to football and the games at hand and all that kind of stuff. So, I think like we were talking about, they played well. I mean, I went into this game, people asking me like, what I thought the score was going to be. I thought we were going to probably lose, knowing that Club America's a good quality team, and this is our first game. We like you said earlier, we trained for like 4 days, and here we are traveling to across the country to play in a meaningless game. But compared to where they and I was a little upset when I saw the back line, right? I mean, because they only signed 1 new defender so far, and he's not available yet, and so we basically rolled out the same guys we had last year. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. And because, it didn't all go that well last year, in my opinion. So, but, they definitely seem to be ahead of where they were this time last year.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, when you think about that world tour that they went on last year, I mean, who felt good after that world tour? Now, I didn't think it was a doomsday. I didn't think that meant that we were going to do horrible during the season, but I definitely didn't feel good about it. But, I mean, after 1 preseason game, I feel like we just went toe-to-toe with the best team in North America, and we're still missing Segovia, Allende, Falcon, Farias, if he's still around. Like we're still missing a lot of pieces on top of possibly Drake or Ustadi, because I don't think Rocco is going to be the starting goalkeeper.
No.
I think that we were missing a lot of pieces, or Lujan, which might be a replacement for Cello. So on top of going toe-to-toe with what's supposed to be the best team in North America, we're also missing a solid 5 or 6 players, which will probably get a lot of time on the pitch, if not starters. So, I mean, compared to where we were last year at this time, I think we're miles ahead. So all good after yesterday, all good.
And that's where, Ed and I, we've talked a lot about throughout the years that, especially last year, how much is it that our defenders suck and how much is it tactics? So they did do things a little bit differently. They were a little more compact. They played 4 in the back, same crappy defenders that make the same crappy mistakes, right? But seem to look a little bit better. I mean, some of that has to go down to coaching, Ed.
Yeah, it's I like the way that they play with the 4 in the back. That's I think a lot of people were asking for that. I know at least Marco, who does the Spanish show with me, he's always complaining about that. We need a back line of 4. It worked out pretty well. So we're starting to see Mascherano doing his thing. He's an experienced defender as well, so he knows how to hopefully defend. And yeah, we need those new guys that are coming. So it was good to see that we were. Now I wouldn't say better. Well, I guess we could say we were a little bit better. They played together long enough, but there were parts where like Noah was making little mistakes here and there, especially in that goal, in the second goal.
Okay, wait, hang on. Pause right there. You chatted me that you blamed Noah for that goal.
Well,
I blame Rocco.
He got in the way.
That's Rocco, 100%. No, okay,
Yeah.
So I watched it several times now, especially before this show. So the goalkeeper did not hold on to the ball, right? Ran into Redondo.
No.
Ran into Redondo. Didn't hold on to the ball. Where it got messed up by Noah was that he kind of
clear
was
it.
kind of grabbing the ball, and Noah kind of kicked it out of his hands a little bit when it was on the ground.
Right.
But at that point, it's a melee, and everything's happening super fast. The initial mistake is a goalkeeper mistake.
Oh, yeah. No,
and so when I saw
doubt.
that, I chatted you, well, Calendar's job is safe. Because
Yeah,
so many people seem to be upset about Calendar, but I'm like, he's not a threat. Now, I know it's a friend.
Well, yeah.
But
yeah, it was a friend and everything. Yeah, but I still think that Noah shouldn't have kicked it out. I think, the goalie was right there, but it is what it is. And, they scored on us. And in the end, it ended up working out for us. But otherwise, yeah, another thing, Noah played pretty decently. So, Redondo, I thought,
during our
was making
post-game
mistakes.
show.
Go ahead, Daniel.
I was just going to say, after our post-game show yesterday, I'd say the majority of the chat all said that Rocco played well enough where they want to see him replace Drake. And I think that everybody was crazy for saying that. Yes, stupid. But that's where that was, because everybody felt that he was so good and he looked so comfortable with the ball at his feet. Now, honestly, from what I saw yesterday, and I'd have to go back and watch the game again, but I didn't think that I saw anything that stood out to me where I say after this one preseason performance, that's it. He should take over Drake's job. I didn't see it yesterday. Maybe I didn't look closely enough. I'm going to watch the game over again at some point. But I didn't see anything that I thought, okay, this Rocco should be the starting goalkeeper moving forward. I mean, I didn't see
Not yet. I mean, he may have a future. He may be great at some point. But just like, when Drake first started, when he got his first couple starts, I think it might have been an Open Cup game or something like that. It wasn't very good. And, and then, when he got an MLS start, I'm like, oof, I don't know. And he grew into it. And I think he's a very good goalkeeper. I know he gets a lot of hate, but I'm always defending him on this channel. Francisco Garcia about the goalkeeper error, saying that the goalkeeper has visual of all the play. The defender is concentrated on the ball, all on the goalkeeper. Speaking of goalkeepers, though, I don't know if you guys noticed that Tyler Miller, goalkeeper previously at DC United, out of contract right now, was on our bench as the backup goalkeeper. And I wonder, and obviously, I think I read somewhere, I think I saw after the fact, Michelle Kaufman had something, a blurb that, he's trialing. Now, you're not going to keep 4 keepers. But it's an interesting Tyler Miller, now obviously they needed a backup. So I wonder if, and Tyler Miller, I don't know how familiar you guys are with him, but I remember when we were starting off the team, he had the previous year had a good year. And I think it was with LAFC. He had a good year. So there was talk about, hey, is he a target for Inter Miami as they're creating their team? And since then, he's, I guess, kind of floundered a little bit. I mean, so much so to where, I know he's had an injury, but so much so to where DC United decided to not renew his contract. And so he's out of contract. So I am curious if he is potentially an MLS pool player. They have, I don't know how familiar you are, Ed, that there used to be a lot of goalkeepers in this pool. There used to be like 4 or 5 goalkeepers that are signed to MLS, and they would basically go to a team that is in need. And their contract is with MLS as opposed to an individual team, which is still all MLS. But used to be, because back in the day, a team would only carry about 2 keepers. Now there's a rule that every team has to carry 3 keepers. So there's fewer pool goalkeepers. Last year, there was only 1. So it makes me wonder, is Tyler Miller potentially a pool goalkeeper, or is he really possibly challenging for a position here? What do you think, Daniel? Or Ed?
I was going to say that I think he's probably, fighting for that position. Maybe he's cheap or something, and the team wants to give him a chance, man. But I guess we're going to find out in the next few days.
Ustadi is here to stay as a backup. I think Rocco's here as the third man. I just wonder if they have somebody else in mind to start, because I don't think that Drake stays on this team if he's not starting. He has aspirations of consistently being called up to the U.S. men's national team, and they're not going to be calling up a backup MLS keeper to the U.S. men's national team. So he won't stay if he's not the starting keeper.
Yeah, I agree.
They're probably shopping him around, I would imagine.
So do I. I imagine that he's getting shopped around, but you have to have a backup plan because I don't feel comfortable with Ustadi or Rocco as the starting goalkeeper for what we're hoping is a Champions Cup team.
Right.
So Tyler Miller is not necessarily cheap. His guaranteed compensation was $450,000 last year. So that's not a ton of money, but I mean, he's not like third string goalkeeper kind of money. You know, you're bringing him in to challenge for a starting position. He's coming in if you're shopping calendar, right? Because like you mentioned, Daniel, Ustari's not going anywhere. Is not going anywhere. They just signed him. You know, the ink's not dry yet, so you're not getting rid of him. But I found it interesting that Tyler Miller was there.
Yeah, that might be it, man. Maybe Drake is on his way out.
And that would make a lot of people happy. However, Tyler Miller is also known for not having good feet.
Oh.
Just like.
If that's the case, then absolutely no reason to bring him on.
Same problem, maybe. Good shot stopper, not great with his feet. Bruni Sense 69 says Drake stays.
I hope so.
Yeah, I don't get all the hate that Drake gets. Steve Munoz says the club accidentally bumped into Tyler Miller at Flanagan's and asked, "Hey, you want to try out?"
For everybody that hates on Drake, I was looking it up because people blame him so much for last year's bad defense, which I think he was put in a lot of bad situations. But of the goalkeepers that started 30 or more games, there were only 2 keepers who allowed less goals than Drake. Like Drake isn't bad.
Yeah, he's not great with his feet, but he's a good keeper.
Right. Like, yes, I thought that he got beat near post a couple times where he shouldn't have, and he's not the greatest. I get it. He's not going to go ahead and get signed by, I don't know, an English Premier League team to start over there. I get it, but he's not bad either.
Bruni Sense, who obviously changed his name, is clarifying, hey, this is Tank, by the way. And he leads the charge in Drake hate.
Absolutely, yeah, I know.
And he says it's not hate.
It's not hate, Peter. I don't know. From where we're sitting, it sounds like it.
If he says if Drake leaves, it better be to Europe. He can't be another Campana, Dos Santos, nor Negri. You know what he can't be is another East Coast team. You know, you can't sell him to another East Coast team. That's my biggest beef, that we get rid of players like Campana and send them to New England. You know, we do that over and over again. It seems like most of our players that we sell tend to go to Eastern teams. So if Drake goes anywhere, yeah, he's going somewhere to move up. He's not going to a lateral move, in my opinion, to another MLS team, unless he's just not wanted. And I don't think that's the case.
I mean, if they were going to sell Drake high, it would have been at the end of last year. 2023, that is.
100%. El Jabaro says, how can we blame Drake with the defense we have in front of him? Good point. Let's see what Drake can do with a better defense.
Right. What do you guys think as far as the back line? I mean, obviously, Jordi Alba's not going anywhere. But then as far as David Martinez, Thomas Aviles, and Cello, would you guys want to replace any of those 3?
Maybe Cello.
I knew that. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, Cello.
I know a lot of people don't like Cello. I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he's great, but I think by MLS standards, I think he's fine.
I think he's a good winger. He's not necessarily a good defender. He is good on the attack, though. So I think he's definitely has value. But I like him because I like how he gets up into the attack. He's kind of trying to, do the same thing Alba does, just on the other side. So my problem is, and again, I go back to, is it tactics? And we'll find out. Is it tactics or is it player? Because our players push up so much that they always get exposed on that counterattack. And he's one of those that had to track back a lot. But also yesterday, I mean, he got turned around a few times. He didn't look great yesterday either.
No, yes, they did.
No,
but their best attacking player outside of their striker Henry is out on the left wing. So whoever was out there was probably going to get cooked because that's literally like us. We build up the left with Jordi Alba. They build up with Brian Rodrigues up the left also. So some people thought that they were picking on Cheto. I think that's just the way they play. They build up the left often.
Steve Munoz says Falcone is on his way, and we'll start with Toto as center back. So yeah, I mean that's the talk is Maximiliano Falcone will be coming in.
Can I give you guys a stat? I'm a numbers nerd, by the way.
Okay.
I used to be a math teacher. I almost got into statistics for a master's. Just I love numbers, so I just randomly throw it out stat. Last year, for all the crap that the defense got, there were only 5 teams that allowed less goals than we did in the MLS, right? So for a team that everybody says our defense is horrible, address the defense. And the top 3 teams were bottom 10 in goals scored because they were the best defensive teams because they would play a low block. They didn't care about scoring. They rarely scored because they just defended the whole time. So it was only LAFC that was good offensively and defensively, and Columbus. Those are the only 2 teams that were up there with us. So I think that our defense needs to completely change, and it's overblown a bit. I do think that our defense isn't good enough to maybe win an international tournament, but as far as MLS standards goes, we're not that bad.
I don't know. I'm not a stats guy so much, but kind of a feels guy, I guess. And when you're at the stadium, it sure does feel like we're getting beat a lot. Sure does feel like our defense is compromised quite a bit. That's the look. That's what it looks like with Granted, we may not give up as many goals because of a last minute ditch effort by Aviles or a good save by Callender, stuff like that. So that could be your stat side of things. But my eyes tell me we're walking on ice back there. We're fine line.
With that high line that we were playing, absolutely. It felt like there was a lot of counterattacks that we did get built out of. But I mean that's the MLS. Unfortunately, when you could only put money into the attack. I mean, there's leaking goals all over the place.
I got a new nickname.
Vibes.
Hey, let's go to a voicemail. If anybody wants to leave a voicemail, you could do that. 786-474-4435. I've got 2 of them, so let's go to one right now.
For your voicemail. Hello?
All right, that's supposed to play.
Hey, Peter Brown, Uncle Ed. This is Pablo from formerly Arizona, in California. So I made the trip out to Vegas to go see Inter Miami and last night. And let me just say, it was just like a dream come true to see Messi. To watch Messi play, to watch him score, see guys like Suarez and everybody. I do want to shine light on goalkeeper Rocco Rios Novo, since I saw him play a little bit in Phoenix. And, you're getting somebody that is just extremely confident, That's all I can say. I think last night was a tough situation for him, just kind of being plugged into that lineup. But I feel like he's going to really push Callender for that number 1 spot. And keep in mind that he was also on Mascherano's Olympic qualifying squad for the youth teams from Argentina. So they've got some history there, and I believe he's going to push Callender and see how this season goes. But I guess my first question is what's going on with Julian Gressel? And can you shed a little bit of light on your Patreon channel? I know you got it in the past, but if you could share some details about what it's all about, I'll look into that. And see you soon. Bye.
All right, that was a little shaky here for some reason at the end. But real quick, I'm a little behind for some reason. The things are not cooperating now. Technical difficulties. But he was asking about the Patreon. The Patreon, we basically created a Patreon. It's $5. if a month if you want to join. Really, all you're doing is helping the channel, helping Ed saving Ed's kidney, because he says the tickets are too expensive, and so your little contribution may save a kidney from Ed having to sell it. Right, Ed?
That's the truth, man. Because it is too expensive, and I could survive on one kidney, Peter. So I'm still hoping people can help contribute to. It's funny because I used to, when I was younger, I used to have what was it, a beer and lap dance fund, but now it's just my season tickets fund. So that's how it is now. I wish it was Patreon back then. Maybe people would have helped me out with that.
There you go. Well, but his comments about the goalkeeper Rocco. He thinks that he's going to push calendar. At the end of the day, that's what we should all hope for. I mean, that game to me didn't show that he is a real challenger, but it's one game, one preseason. Take it with a grain of salt. But what we should all hope for is that he pushes for competition's good. So you want your backup goalkeeper pushing your starting goalkeeper. I mean, and plus we have new goalkeeping coaching staff. So, I mean, we might see something out of it. And his connection with Mascherano, I mean, that's something.
Right, I think one of the positives of having Mascherano is that he's going to get a lot of the young guys that he came in contact with while coaching that youth Argentina team. People that haven't made it to one of the top teams yet in Argentina are probably going to make their way over here.
Exactly. All right, and pretty cool that Pedro happened to he was at the game, so that's pretty cool. He calls him. Has been a while since he's called him, but we've heard from him before. All right, one more, and this is somebody you know. But here's the thing. This is a Google phone number, and so it gives me like a transcript. And it doesn't obviously know the word battered heron. So it says battered hair. So this is from Battered Hair.
Hey guys, this is Chris from the Battered Herons. First time, long time. I just want to say, it's not far-fetched to say battered Disney dads. Because whenever we go to Disney, the wallets definitely get battered. I'll hear your thoughts. I'll hang up and listen.
Your thoughts. Is Chris is a Disney guy as well?
He is. He might be a bigger Disney guy than I am. Yes, he has 3 kids. I have 3 kids, so we used to go a lot on group trips to Disney. So we had the logo and everything. I might try to pop it up here for you guys to see it if I can find it. We had a logo and everything. I'm telling you, like, this whole Disney thing isn't a joke. We were in it.
Yeah, I joke around saying when it comes to going to Disney, I'm either super annoying or probably fun to be around because I know way too much useless information.
Absolutely.
But the last 2 times I went, I was put to work by my wife's family or friends coming from outside the country. So I was the one manning the app and booking all the Genie Plus stuff and all the lightning lanes.
You don't find that fun?
No, I was great. It was great. I don't mind it, but it's not the way I go to Disney. So when it's me and my daughter, we don't get lightning lanes. We don't do any of that stuff. We just go with the flow, and whatever feels good and the lines are reasonable, we go to it. So it's like we're not because we can go as often as we want. So we just kind of go with the flow. But yeah, I for Christmas, just to show you the level of nerd, there is a Disney book that came out that basically tells you the history of every one of the Main Street windows in all the parks. So I've got that book, and I'm going through it now.
It does what?
So when you walk down, so I don't know if you know this. We're going to go off on a quick tangent. I don't want to bore people too much. But when you walk into the Magic Kingdom, that is meant to be basically a show. You're walking in. The train station is the red carpet. There's like the red carpet. When you're walking by under the train station, you're walking by the posters. Those are coming soon posters, movie posters, in theory, right? This is how Disney made the idea. And then when you walk into Main Street, you see up on the second floor windows all these names. Those are your credits. Because remember, movies had the credits in the beginning of the movies, not the end in the old days. So those are your credits. So if you look up in the Magic Kingdom, you'll see names on the windows. They all have meaning, so I have a book that tells me what all those mean. So
Look at that. Okay, you are deeper in it than I am.
here, well, Chris knows what I'm talking about. At least he saw the book at Barnes & Noble.
No. Chris is in it for sure. Very cool.
Callahan says Disney's for the birds. Well, yeah, you've got Orange Bird, right? You've got the Tiki Room. I could go on and on and on. So, anyways, back to
I was trying to find the image of, but I can't. I'm not gonna keep looking down. Of the,
all right, so
of the logo
to
we
me,
made.
back to the game at hand. One of the happiest things for me in that game was seeing how well Fafa Pall played. We talked about Fafa on this show when it was first announced, and we had definitely some trolls that I was told to stop engaging with because they did not like Fafa. They don't know who he is, so it's probably one of these Messi fans that they're only here for Messi and have no clue who this guy is, and they want to get the big name players. But Fafa Pall coming home, because me and Ed, I don't know if you went this far back, Daniel, but me and Ed were watching Fafa play for the Fort Lauderdale Strikers when his head coach was Gunter Kronsteiner, and Gunter had to bench him. One of our best players, and Gunter had to bench him because his focus was on Europe. He wanted Gunter, German, to help him get a role over somewhere in Europe, get with a team in Europe, and so he wasn't focused on the club at hand. So he benched one of his best players. Now he did get his opportunity. I think he played at St. Pauli. I think it is. He did get his opportunity to go overseas shortly after that, but has come back and has had a hell of a MLS career. Now he's come home. He's from South Florida. Speaks Haitian, speaks Spanish as well. I mean,
Speaks
plus
7
he
languages.
just had a great game.
Well, he speaks 7 languages, and I thought that his speed, right, his pace, is what jumps out at you the most. Having that speed down that left side.
How about that?
Yeah. And that was a nice move right there. And he's still fast, and I think he's already in his 30s, man. So he's still got it, man.
I thought, just in general, I thought it was good. The first 15 to 30 minutes, you could tell that we were rusty. But I thought we played our way into the game. A lot of direct passes, not a lot of back and horizontal passing, a lot of vertical stuff, more direct, I thought. I don't know if that's going to be what Mascherano does, or he's just playing that way because Club America is so good at keeping possession. I'm just kind of curious to see how the rest of the preseason games go.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Fafa for me, I was super excited to see him back. Ed, I'm always talking about who I should put on the back of my shirt. I think I'm leaning towards a Fafa shirt.
That would be nice, yeah, man. I actually finally got a Messi shirt, and I thought I was never going to get any player, in the back, but I thought it was just going to be Uncle at 69 the whole time, but no, I actually got a Messi. So I'm happy you got the Campana last year, or was it the year before?
Year before I got it. I got it the year before.
But Fafa deserves it, man. Especially because of the history, and so far he looks good, man. I think he might be able to. I'm not sure he's going to be a starter, but I definitely think he's going to play quite a bit.
I thought he made an argument to be a starter, But the problem is, we're bringing in all these young players from Argentina mostly, and so he definitely is going to have to compete with that. And this team definitely likes to go young. We're young and we're old, right? We're not in between. Now he fits into the old, but we also like him to be Argentinian whenever possible. So he may be on the bench with Gressel half come on in the second half. Although people still think. What do you guys think, Gressel? Since I mentioned him, and I'm going on a tangent. People think he's going to be out of here this year. Daniel, do you think Gressel's going to get shopped?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be here. Our midfield is way too stacked. We have, I want to say, like 7 or 8 midfielders right now that could all possibly start. And if his contract hasn't changed since last year, he's getting paid over $1 million. I would assume that he's not going to be here this season.
$1 million 92,000.
Ouch. Yeah, I think he's probably on his way out. I mean, he was Tata's guy, so I don't think he's going to be Mascherano's guy. So yeah, I think he's probably going to be heading out soon, before the window closes.
Yeah, and
I agree.
So yeah, they definitely. The funny thing is, I thought, and I think most people did, especially if you look at comments, if you pay attention to comments at all, not I don't mean our comments right now, but just in general, every time Inter Miami posts anything, it's where's it, and they could just be saying, "Hey, we did something for charity," and everybody's going to be like, "Where's the defenders? Where's the defenders? Our defense sucks. Where's the defenders?" It doesn't matter what they post about. It's all where are the defenders, and they only brought in one so far, potentially two with Falcone.
Yeah.
So that is, I mean, but then I keep going in a loop, but maybe Avilés, who's only 20 years old, makes a lot of mistakes, but he's super young. Maybe this coach can get him to clean up a little bit his mistakes.
Great season. I am banking on Tomas Avilés having a great season.
Crossing fingers, Daniel.
Yeah.
But Daniel, I wanted to ask you, what do you think? All right, we keep hearing from our sources that they're still looking for a DP. Who would you bring?
If you're referring to Neymar, I'm not a fan of bringing Neymar. I think it's a cute story, the whole MSN 2.0, but I really don't see where we need him because he's never healthy. And honestly, I think it's more of a luxury just to say we have him. I would much prefer somebody like Kevin De Bruyne is getting rumored to San Diego, but I would much rather somebody like Kevin De Bruyne, man. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of talk about him going to San Diego, but I would much prefer somebody like that if they come to MLS. Neymar, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the whole thing, just because his health and the fact that we're already defending with 9 or 8. We're going to be defending with 7 if he comes.
True.
And he supposedly is going to Santos. I mean, that's the report is he's going to Santos. But
months.
that's only a loan till the summer. Mm-hmm. So he potentially could still come here after that if they really want that to happen. So,
but I love that, though, because if you think about it, we have 6 months to see if he could be healthy for 6 months.
Right.
If he tears it up for 6 months at Santos, then it's like, all right, let's figure out how to get him on here. But so I think that's like best case scenario for Inter Miami, at least. Let's see how it goes over there. I mean, maybe he'll be happy. He'll decide to stay over there. I don't know, but I think it's great that we get to see him now 6 months, see how much he can play, because in Saudi he played 3 regular season games to my best of my understanding in 2 years.
Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs coming at you saying Danny wasn't a fan of bringing in Luis Suarez either. So
I'm still not a fan of him.
What? So I was critical of him only because hey, he has a hard time walking, right? I don't want him, but he's delivered.
Oh, see, but you and I are different then, because I never had a doubt that he would ball out. He had just won MVP in Brazil. Mm-hmm. I knew he was going to tear it up. I just don't like his personality.
No, I don't care.
I do. I can't stand him and anyone. The way they start complaining on the pitch. Shut up. Please stop.
Him with Guzan in the last game last year.
Well, I actually liked that one though. That I actually liked. But for the most part,
you like that one. All right.
Just complain, like just stop. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Luis Suarez as an individual, but on the pitch, he's a monster.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Ed, do you think they're going to bring in a third DP? So, because I'm of the opinion they're sticking with the 2 DPs and having the 4 U22s.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to stick with that. I think they are shooting for Neymar, and I'm with Daniel. Hopefully, if Neymar plays well with Santos, then we should do something. If not, hold off, and have a plan B.
Well, if they want to do that, they got to ship off one of these U22s or convert them to TAM money. They got to do something with that salary, which I haven't looked exactly to see where we're at right now. But we know Farias was a U22 player that they brought in. So, and there's all the rumors that he's getting shipped out any day, right? So
Yeah, they said
that would
that-
free up one U22. I'm not sure about any of these new people that they're bringing in, if they go into his U22 slot or not. I haven't looked at all their ages.
Well, I know Segovia, the Venezuelan kid, is 21.
And wait, what about Segovia? What's the deal? 5-year deal. That scares me. When a team signs somebody for that long, they obviously think a lot of this kid.
Well, we had somebody on our show that covers the Portuguese league,
Okay.
and they said that he has been tearing it up this season. Last season was, I guess, he was getting adjusted to the league, but he's been tearing it up. They compared him to a saucier Diego Gomez. He can defend. He's not as thick physically, but he can defend. He can build in the attack. And like I said, he's a little more saucier on the ball. So I'm hoping that he's the player out of all the players that we've signed that I'm probably the most excited to watch play.
Yeah, me too. And the fact that if they are willing to throw a 5-year contract, because that's the kind of thing that makes me think of in the beginning with Tubby. When we sign these bad contracts, and you're saddled with them for 5 years, we still can't get rid of Emerson Rodrigues. I mean,
Yeah, what's up?
as
with
an
that?
example,
Emerson.
as an example, we still got
This
this.
is the last year, though. This is the last year.
It's like, I mean, we loan them out, and they're like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. You can take them back, Real quick, as we start to wrap up, Akui or whatever says, with this defense, we're not going to win anything. Well, to be fair, and I should have saved the picture to bring it on for tonight. We won something last night. There was a trophy awarded at that game.
I saw that.
And we, you know what? We've gone into so many tangents. We didn't even talk about that penalty shootout. So let's kind of wrap up with that. First off, why penalty kicks in a friendly? But then
Because those are trophies to be given.
After you see the penalty kicks, they need practice.
Both teams need practice. That was terrible. Yeah, wow.
The worst set of penalties I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was bad, but I didn't realize it until earlier today when I saw pictures of a trophy. They needed to give the trophy to somebody, so they needed a winner. So I guess that's why.
Why a trophy for a preseason game?
No clue.
I mean, it's not even a tournament. It's not even like when there was that, what was it called? The Carolina Cup that we won. At least that's a little tournament. At least
is it possible that moving forward? Oh, the Carolina Cup. That's what it was called. It was the thing of beauty. That's our first ever trophy.
Yeah, but that at least was a tournament, and it's still stupid. But at least it was a tournament. This is one game. But
I have a feeling, and hear me out. I have a feeling that for some reason they didn't promote it. But next January, you're going to get the Supporter Shield winner to play against whoever the champion of the Mexican League was, and they're going to play for the same trophy again in the preseason.
Well, if that's the case, that trophy
they're
needs
gonna
to
make
look
it
better.
a thing.
Because, Mr. Crab says it looked pretty bland. That looked like something you bought, at Party City.
It looked like a wine cup.
It was a wine
Yeah,
cup.
it was little. It was so little that Messi, he didn't even do the usual, holding it up type thing. He just said, "Let's take a picture real quick," because it looked like he was embarrassed to hold it.
Michael Donnelly asks a question: does it count as our third? Would you put it in the trophy cabinet?
No. If the Carolina Cup isn't there, this one can.
I don't even know if they have a cabinet, but this is ridiculous. I'll tell you what, if you go to like Miami FC, I've been to their corporate office, at least where it used to be. I don't know where it is now, but they've got every trophy, and they got a bunch. You would think they are the most decorated soccer team ever in Miami with the amount of trophies they have. Now they might be like trophies like this. Anyways, Party City trophies. Like Bruno says, R.I.P. Party City. But anyways, real quick, just it was a nightmare of a penalty. But the young kid that we put in the thumbnail, what is he? 17 years old. We could call him another Nepo baby, right? Because everybody complained when it was Harvey and when it was Beckham, Romeo out there. That is another one. But he did his little stutter step. He basically did the same penalty that
Ruiz
did. Exactly. So
isn't that a cool story? Like a
It
perfect
is
way
cool.
to start the season, though.
that is cool.
I thought it was a
It
cool
is
story
cool.
to start the season.
Well, anyways, guys, I could talk to you all night. We rambled around. We didn't have any like always. We didn't really have a path we were going to go down. It's just wherever the chat takes us. This was a lot of fun. Daniel, tell everybody how they can follow everything you do or whatever you want to promote.
Well, Battered Herons, if you want to hear Inter Miami talk during the week, we go on 3 to 4 times a week. During the season, it's usually 4 to 5 times during the week. We do Las Garzas. We go on once or twice a week also in Espanol. And then we do Battered MLS Fans, which we get a panel of MLS content creators. And we usually just talk MLS. So we talk to people from all over the league and the country. So if you're interested in MLS or just Inter Miami, Battered Herons, Battered MLS, and then my personal is just Battered Fan.
Hardest working man in the soccer podcasting game, right there. I mean, Ed and I just kind of struggle to do one show a week, but it was a lot of fun. Ed, are we doing anything on tomorrow?
I'm gonna have to consult with Marco. I think he was supposed to. Oh, actually, he's not traveling, but he's got a exporting business. So sometimes he leaves, sometimes he doesn't. But we'll definitely put it on the social media if we're gonna do it tomorrow night. So
maybe we should change this to some
whenever
Mondays.
Thanks, Peter. Not all. Oh, there you go.
It's on some Mondays. All right, everybody. Daniel, thanks so much. This was a lot of fun. People have been asking for us to do a little collab for a long time, so I was super happy to have you on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. I like I said, I listen to you guys every Monday morning. I can't listen live because, like I told you,
Sure.
I tell my wife, don't worry, I'm not going to podcast or listen to podcasts or anything on the weekends. But Monday morning, you guys are my drive to work, and I appreciate everything that you guys do.
All right.
Appreciate
Hey, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys made it awesome. So we will talk to you next week. See you, everybody.